help. I thought someone would be there. And then
You
I
would
signed in
expect, you
about,
expect the host to be there, wouldn't
There's
you?
the gaffer.
well,
Oh, there
I
he
signed
is.
in about a couple of times. So I was like, right, let's see the most nice looking viewing that we can get in the house. Make sure the light's nice. And then it was pretty much in darkness apart from the Christmas tree. So I was like, oh, we're needing a wee bit of light in here. So
Speaking of nice looking, there's Alistair.
Well, good evening, everyone. How are we doing?
Hi.
I have
Right.
a dazzling light on. I have a dazzling light and I've just blinded myself so I can't see anything there. So I'm going to ask anybody else that's watching the live recording tonight to switch their microphones off so I can do an active speaker recording with Mr. Raymond Uphillwood.
Yay.
So Raymond and I are going to have a conversation tonight. And I have to remind myself that this is a 40-minute chat. Otherwise, you and I will just be going on forever and ever and ever and a day. But tonight, for the purposes of tonight, we are talking to you as a makeup designer as well. So Spotlight's all about finding out about different people's roles and their own kind of career paths as well. Maybe not so much what you would maybe read in a careers prospectus, but exactly how you've got to do what you're doing and things. So before we do any of that, Phil, what have you been up to today?
Everything possible to mankind. No, I've been teaching today, so I had some level 3 makeup artistry in this morning, doing a multitude of different things: body painting, prosthetic work, some blood work. Then I went and had level 1 makeup artistry, which is our new course, and we were learning how to do a black smoky eye and a classic red lip.
Oh, wow. And so I'm not assuming that anybody watching this, when it goes out, knows exactly all about you or anything. So when you say you've been teaching in all these levels, where are you teaching? What are you doing?
So I'm a lecturer at Dundee and Angus College. That's my kind of full-time job. I do lecturing privately as well, just with kind of private clientele and companies and stuff. So, which is good.
So you've been doing a bit of a smoky eye today.
A bit of a smoky eye, but like it's not like the smoky eye that you see walking down the high street at whatever time in the morning. It's a classic one colour black smoke from the root of the lash smoker into the crease.
There we
Beautiful.
go. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. So we've got you billed as a makeup designer. So if you can, in a couple of minutes, tell us exactly what is the role of a makeup designer. What is it you do?
So for me, when I'm designing a makeup, it could be for a variety of different things. It all depends on the job. So sometimes you'll be asked to design a makeup for an ad campaign. You might design a makeup for just a simple photo shoot. Mostly I design makeup for theatre, stage, and kind of short film and TV, that sort of kind of stuff. So basically what it is reading a script or taking a director's vision and creating it, well, making it into a visual. Sometimes you actually get to create your own visual, and I love that. That's even better. But yeah, that's basically what a designer does. We need to understand not just the whole concept of the script. We need to understand the whole concept of what else is happening. What's the lights doing? What's the cameras doing? What's the environment doing? What are the products doing as well? So the products are important also for the right look, because realistically that's what we do when we're designing makeup. We're creating the right look for the project.
So is it quite a different thing then to, you just spoke about stage and screen and advert campaigns and theatre and things. I take it somebody that says, oh, well, I'm quite good at my own makeup, or I'm a makeup artist, someone that's good is like a hair and beauty artist. Is that quite different to makeup designer in all the context you're speaking about then? Absolutely.
I think for me, it's definitely being able to disconnect your brain between different things. So like beauty makeup artists, so people that maybe do bridal makeup, they don't understand greatly about the stage and the theatre side of stuff, or how a makeup should look on a TV. So as a makeup designer, we really need to understand the whole holistic, or the whole kind of the visual of the whole picture almost. So definitely there is a difference between a makeup person, makeup artist, and someone who actually designs for something.
Okay, so we're going to talk more about the role and the differences between the different kind of contexts that you work in later on in the chat. So that'll be about hour 5 or something. We'll maybe get into that by then.
And this is only water. This is literally only
I know,
water.
You're on water. I'm sitting here with my coffee here. It's like Lorraine. We should be on like Lorraine in the mornings or something. We might get a job. Des and Mel. Oh, we lost Des last week. I better not bring up. Sorry, I better not bring up Des.
People would want to tune in to us at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, maybe not 4 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll do our own new show. So anyway, let me take, let's see, here we go. Let me take you back though to kind of how did you get into this then? I know you have a visual art background and things as well, but how have you got what you're doing now?
So, I mean, being a 24-year-old, I've only been, you know, in the industry for I'm joking.
Hey, so no amount of makeup design's going to pass that lie. Come on.
I think, I mean, if I look back to when I was younger, I probably didn't even notice my personality, let's just call it, when I was like a kid. You know, think being around aunties and putting makeup on, or watch them put makeup on, or brushing hair. Who knew that 20 years down the line, that would be a really interest. So looking back, that's probably where it started. Throughout school, I've always been quite a creative person. So art was one of my main subjects. I was very musical. That was another main subject. And believe it or not, I was actually quite sporty. Sport was another one of my subjects. You wouldn't think it now because I've maybe got a little bit of weight put on us. But however, so excuse me, going into 6th year, like most kids in my kind of situation, what do I do? And I thought that my art at the time was better than my music and my sport. So I went to study fine art at the Duncan of Jordanston School of Art.
And what I must say to anybody watching that's not aware of Duncan of Jordanston, it's obviously a degree course, fine art and everything, but it's not easy to get into from school. And no, a lot of people have to go and do portfolio years and things like that, don't they?
Yeah, so Duncan of Jordanston's probably one of the most renowned art schools in the world, and it is difficult to get into. I was fortunate enough to create a portfolio that got me unconditionally in. I didn't have, well, I had the grades, however, pardon me, I needed higher English, which was not my strongest suit, let's put it that way. But yeah, coming straight from school at a 7-year-old into an art school was phenomenal. So throughout that kind of degree, I done a lot of stage work. I've always done kind of musicals and stuff. One of my lecturers said, why don't you put a bit of you into your artwork? We all know you can paint, we all know you can draw. What can you do that's different to him next door or her next door? And I thought, I'm going to learn makeup.
Okay.
Why not?
What had you been doing up to that point? You said painting, drawing?
Yeah, pretty much just kind of figurative painting, drawing, some abstract stuff, some photorealistic stuff, even delved in a wee bit of photography as well. So just a mixture of different disciplines. I'm very much that sort of person that likes to tangent everywhere. But I thought, you know what, he's right. So as an actor or a performer, how can I add that into my artwork? And makeup artistry and costume and hair and set all just made so much sense. So I decided to learn a little bit of makeup, special effects to start off with, and then I started volunteering within the local theatre groups, and that was it.
How did you just said I did a little bit of special effects, I learned a bit about this, how did you go about doing that?
I picked a book up, pretty much. I got a Bible. I always say it's a Bible. It's an old book that has never been updated for a million years. I bought it from a friend, and he was like, all you need to know about makeup's in this book. And
is that the Fox book? No,
it's the Grimace book.
Oh, the Grimace. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we've probably, well, everybody who's been on stage probably knows Grimace. You know, times have changed since then, but that's basically where I learned the majority of my makeup was from a book. Because
those were your fundamental things in what you call the Bible, the Grimace book, yeah.
Yeah, totally. You learned everything because we didn't have YouTube, or like you wouldn't go into a library and say, can I have a makeup video? or a DV. You wouldn't do that. So I just basically developed my skills, practicing, trying out different things. You know, I avoided doing any beauty makeup because I wanted to be a bit individual, but it's taken me a long time to realise, actually, going back to the fundamentals of beauty makeup and understanding colours and how a face works is really crucial to becoming a makeup artist. Definitely.
Okay, so you were encouraged to go to explore that more when you were in uni. Did you then use, I know that there's like the, what's it called? Like the degree shows and things. Did you then use it as much as that became your full sort of study? And
absolutely, yeah. So I basically put on a production, but it was not like, oh, popcorn production. It was an immersive experience where I included set and photography and costume, where people entered the room and it was transportive. Well, hopefully it was transportative for them. I was wanting to really evoke an emotion with the people, so it was a wee bit of performance art, and then in the degree show every hour I would put on a performance. So I'd actually written an operetta of the seven deadly sins. So let's go out with a bang. Let's do music. Let's do set. Let's do costume. Let's do makeup. Let's do acting. Let's do it all. And I ended up getting to be right up in the Scotsman, which was pretty cool.
that's incredible. Do you know what I think? It just reaffirms, like just listening to you tonight, these chats that I've been having, I think you're number 5 at the moment, but talking to someone about what they do, how they do it, it's really, your passion comes over. It's so good to hear you talking about all of that in your own voice, because I think I certainly know your work and a lot of people know your work, but a lot of the time we just see your product. We don't hear any of this backstory and how you got to where you are and things. So going from a fine art degree, of which you've really started to explore that medium now in terms of hair and makeup and stage design and everything, what happened after that then?
Excuse me. So when I'd graduated with fine art, I went into the industry of the bar and hospitality industry, as everybody does. Climbed the ladder, became a manager for a company. And, you know, unfortunately, the company went into liquidation. And everybody was...
because of anything you did, I hasten to add.
Oh no. You know, I always feel like that was entertainment of the place. Whatever activity was happening, the pub was decorated, there was props, there was... Bring that a theatrical experience into every aspect of work. And, you know, even, it might seem silly, bringing that artistic and theatrical aspect into something like a hospitality industry really creates something really special. Okay. So we got made redundant, and I thought, oh, where's my life going to go? I'm never going to be an artist. I'm never going to do this. And then I started working for a theatrical costumier company. Yeah. Most of you might know that company. It's Utopia Costumes.
We're talking to them in a couple of weeks as well.
Oh, good luck. Hi. So that really pushed me as a makeup. I wasn't a makeup artist at the time. I was a makeup person. Okay. I was a person who thought I knew what I was doing, but avoided the bits that I didn't like doing.
Right. I think bridal, a lot of people do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And it takes you a long time to realise, I'm not going to get a job just doing this. I need to learn something else. So I taught myself how to do the bridal makeup, and now that's what I do. That's what makes the money.
Oh, and right.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people have this impression of me as, oh, that guy creates cuts and bruises and wacky stuff for stage and that. But me as a makeup artist, I find the beauty in makeup artistry, creating a makeup that's soft and beautiful and bringing that person out and glowing, which a lot of people don't actually see a lot of my kind of beauty work or my bridal work.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And then 12 years down the line, or 10 years down the line, I got invited into the college to be a guest lecturer because people had heard about what I do. And then I think as the story goes, they've wanted to do HNC makeup artistry for a few years. They took my presentation to the dean of the college and was like, let's do it. Get him, let's do it.
And from there, that your course has grown, hasn't it?
The course has grown massively. So when it started, I started off with 18 students, and people didn't know about makeup artistry at Dundee and Angus College. They didn't know it was there. So they'd have to go to Glasgow or Edinburgh. So like it's taken, well, I'm in my 5th year of it now, and the first 2 years, to be honest, were slow, but now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 makeup artistry classes and 19 units within the hair and beauty department that encompass makeup. So it's grown hugely. And that's not to say that the amount of applications we had, we cannot create 5, 6, 7 streams. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that.
Okay, so obviously you've then equipped yourself with more skills and things by that point through you worked in a costumier, so I suppose you're picking up other things as you're there in terms of design, how it all comes together maybe, and like
absolutely
hair and wigs and stuff like that at that point.
Yeah, for me, especially not just as a makeup designer, but as a makeup artist, being able to look at the whole thing is important. Like I can create a makeup, someone can create a costume, someone can create hair, but does it work together?
Yeah.
And that's where a designer or a person leading that is really important.
Okay.
You know, to bring it all together.
So let's now talk about that role within different projects. So if I was to say to you straight off, like theatre, so Raymond, you've got a theatre project, and Raymond, you've got a filming project. So do you approach those things in different ways? Are they totally different, or how does that work?
Totally, yeah. So if you look at filming and stuff, you're quite restricted on what you can do. The theatre, the filming aspect.
Let's speak about the filming one a wee bit more detail then. What kind of things have you done, and how are they different? How do you approach that then?
So most of the kind of film stuff I've done has been a lot of short films, local stuff, not big Hollywood massive stuff. For me, I don't think that's where I want to be. So it is, the time constraints on that are completely different. You know, you have meetings with directors, and because the director does not know anything about styling per se, sometimes their expectations are completely unrealistic. You know, they'll be like
on set, trying
on
to
set,
something.
yeah.
Okay.
They'll be like, can you blow someone's head off? And what's your budget? Well, we've not even got a budget. Well, that's important. Okay. You know, and it's definitely the time. Like filming doesn't take 2 minutes, and it's not like a stage production. You're in at 7 o'clock. Well, I'm not going earlier. 7 o'clock, you're off the stage. You're in the pub at 10. Filming, you're there 5 o'clock in the morning. You could be sitting twiddling your thumbs, and you've got to make sure everything continuity is exactly the same. And everything the detail has to be absolutely spot on. And I always think my detail in anything I do is spot on, but for filming, it has to be there. Another thing with filming is you're on location. So you could be outside, literally doing makeup in a car.
Okay. How does that work? Do you know what? I've always wondered about that. And I was watching one of these YouTube things about the making of The Crown. You know, everybody's watching The Crown again or whatever. Yeah. But so say Gillian Anderson is Margaret Thatcher on Wednesday afternoon, and they say, right, that's a wrap, right, we're going to go back to that scene on Friday. Gillian, you'll get your wig back on and your hair. How do you make sure when you're filming something in terms of continuity that it's exactly the same look again for a character when they're I suppose stage night to night, it might, you know, the eyeliner line might be slightly different, but is it different then for continuity in screening?
Totally. Stuff? Yeah. I mean, when you're filming, you'd normally be filming for a longer period of time. So you might, that 5 minute set will take 12 hours. When it comes to like wigs and stuff, normally they would have 2 or 3 wigs made up, wear them, they would be sent away to get restyled. And then again, we would do like calls where we would bring the actor in and do test sheets, test shots, take pictures of everything. I mean, I've been on shoots where someone's like, right, we're going to shoot scene 6, which is actually 2 weeks later, and I need you to make a bruise 2 weeks later. So I've got to think, right, how would the bruise look 2 weeks later? And then the next day they might be, right, okay, we need your character to be just having a bruise or just being punched, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how it jumps. It's not like a stage. It's like, right, curtain up, it's 7:30, scene 1, scene 2.
Oh, God.
So it definitely jumps more about it's like a rehearsal process. You know, you might do this bit here, this bit here, this bit here.
But
and
you could be doing that outside on a hill somewhere or in a car, or so you're really going by photo records and planning like that.
And that's where planning is really important. You know, like when you get a call sheet, the detail that you have to put on that, like 407, apply this. 406, get a mic. 409, you have to, you know, it is to the spot, because as they say, like time is money in films and stuff.
So just for people that aren't used to that kind of process as well, so some things have to happen in a particular order. Is that important?
Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of things are we speaking about there then?
So if you're using things like prosthetic pieces, it's normally best to film all the prosthetic pieces scenes in the one go. So I wouldn't often film like a prosthetic that I've done for a scene 1 week, and then a couple of weeks down the line, actually, could we put the prosthetic back on because we've missed 30 seconds of another scene. They would tend to keep that all in one kind of block almost. That's if it's organised.
Okay, right. So if we jump back to the stage, okay, so how do you go about preparing makeup design for theatre then?
So for me, well, that's the most exciting thing for me, to be honest with you, is designing for stage. So when I get asked to do it, like a production, instantly my brain goes.
Yeah, I know that. I've witnessed that before.
Very much. And I start writing down loads of concepts, loads of ideas, and I think to myself, right, even before I have a meeting with the producer or director, what can I change? What can I make my own, or what needs to stay the same? So it's like Shrek, for instance. You can't have a purple Shrek. He needs to look like Shrek. Okay. You can't change that. But characters like Fagin, for instance, you can give a little twist to that. So I generally have, my brain racks up. I tend to look at the script if I've got one, or I tend to get a kind of background how the show runs, if time allows. I would meet up with the director and find out what they want. Now, not all the time the director has an idea, so then that's where I have to then go and figure that idea out for the director. However, sometimes the director has a clear vision of how they want it. So I would then design something how they want it and maybe have an alternate version of it. And yeah, then I would find later on down the line, figure out what the costumes are going to be like. What your set's going to be like. Now, a lot of people don't actually know what their costumes are going to be like or their set. Luckily for me, being a theatrical costumier for so many years, I know how a show should look. But that's not always the case. So I definitely,
it's good. Sorry to interrupt. It's good that you know those bits as well, then, or have some more of that information. It's not just your bit in isolation.
No, that's crucial. The designing of the makeup's there as a tiny wee bit. I need to know what else is happening, because if you're having a scene, for instance, that, you know, the lights are green and I put red on you, you're going to look not right. You know, it's like, for instance, I'd done a panto a few years ago and the baddie was all in green lighting. So I'd done his face in pinks and purples and reds, and people were like, how you be doing that? But it made sense with the lighting.
Right, okay. So that...
Because it made, like, normally you would contour with browns and stuff, but with stage, colour theory comes into it. So you need to use colours to mute each other out, or
you only know that though by what's that, by planning and communicating with the other design departments then, would that be right?
Absolutely, totally. But, you know, years of knowledge, you kind of get, you can figure it out. Definitely the run up to the shows, I would sit in with the rehearsal process, because at that stage my ideas might develop. I might go, no, that's not going to work. We need to simplify that. We need to add to this. That character needs that. And it's simple things like, wee Joe's got 4 lines, but that wee Joe needs a moustache. You know, it's small details that you would never think about like that. And again, it's understanding your periods and your history and time. Did men actually wear moustache? Was men clean shaven? What was their hair like? You know, all these things. Would their hands be dirty? Often you see people like, I'm dirty, smudge, and they've got clean hands and nails.
But they're just straight out the manicure shop.
They're like, just had my nails done for after show party. So things like that are really important. And I know like people will think to me, but why are you spending that wee detail doing that? That wee detail's important. It's like if you're doing a cross stitch and you notice she's missed out a couple of crosses, you wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
So definitely a collegial approach with everybody in the design department. Even things like sound. Sound's important. If I'm having a prosthetic makeup, I need to know where the mic's sitting. How's that mic going to work? How is the speaking going to sound? If it's something like Beauty and the Beast where you've got a muzzle or chins, it's explaining to the actor that they need to speak over it as opposed to speaking down into it. And it's saying to the sound engineer, maybe that mic's no good, maybe that mic's better.
Yeah. So a lot of collaboration involved as well.
That's crucial, absolutely crucial.
And I know, having done a few shows with you where the makeup has been very complex and complicated. So things I've done with you when somebody has to age, you know what I mean, very quickly in terms of a Les Mis or something. Les Mis,
yeah.
Other shows when they have to, I think Evita, she's one age, then she goes back, then she gets older again. So we kind of made it harder like that. You've done things like Into the Woods with quick changes. And I just remember when I worked with you that what you're amazing at is not just your physical skill and artistry, but that thinking and problem solving and advice. So I kind of can throw lots of ingredients to you of ideas, and then, but we need to be able to do this, and then you go away, and it's just amazing, the research and the mood boards and things that you do.
Mood boards are important because if I've got a team of people, how do they know what's in here? So that's why I create these mood boards in these these face charts. It's definitely one of the things. And a lot of people, they're going about creativity and they're going, I would never be able to be a makeup artist because I'm not creative. It's not about creativity for me. It's about being imaginative. It's about taking a situation, going, actually, how can you investigate the possibilities within that? And one of my life mantras, and I say this to my students, is trust the process. How do you know if it's going to work until you try it?
And there must be, for somebody that was doing that then, so somebody that wouldn't regard themselves as an artist or whatever, and that sounds really encouraging, the way that you're saying trust the process. I take it there's a degree of kind of brevity and courage about putting that brush to somebody's face and actually being confident with it, or would you say?
Totally. I mean, that's one thing that I do on a daily basis. Like just now, my class are doing body art, and some of them are maybe painting little details with tiny brushes. And I'm like, no, stop that. So I'll just get a brush and go in for it. I'm like, no, I want you to do that. And, oh, no, I'm scared, I can't do it. But see, when they get it, they're like, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's like people painting drips. So like a drip from the eye, for instance. Okay. People will paint a drip. Like, just spray the face, let it drip. Trust that process. And it's all about investigating and taking that imagination that one step further. Because again, nobody knew that the wheel could be created until the wheel was created. How did they get to there? And that's that for me, that process of getting to a final product is hugely important.
Those trial and error moments and not being scared to have the error, because you're learning from them then.
Absolutely. And I always say to my students, like, I always feel like when they make mistakes, and we're going to put them in a wee air quotes, right? These mistakes become beautiful pieces of artwork.
Yeah.
Because they're accidental and it doesn't look like they've went in and spent time. And that's a process I do with them. I'll get them to do something great, and then I'll get them to deconstruct it. And it's them appreciating and understanding that everything does not need to be squeaky clean or ABC, or it has to go from there to there. There is other alternative ways of doing stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just remembering, if I was to say to you my favorite picture of you, you know which one I'm going to say, because you kind of hinted there about
this one.
That. It's that one, yeah. Absolutely. So that was a production of Into the Woods.
Into the Woods.
And I think we were starting sort of technical rehearsals, and obviously the there are witch makeups that you'd worked on, and the kind of look of all the trees and all these different things. But we kind of got to a point that we got to a problem that we didn't realize was going to be a problem. And it was when you applied, like one department was doing its bit and then another department's doing its bit. And we didn't quite, we didn't foresee it happening. And what had happened was the prosthetic for the wolf had been applied. And I think we were just testing things. And then obviously the microphone came into play. But what had happened was it created what do you call it?
Like an echo chamber, a chamber of sound.
So when the actor spoke and sung, it started to go like this. And it was creating a problem with sound. I remember we were talking about that on the stage, and I was called down to the stage and I was talking to the sound designer about it and how we go, it wasn't going to work and we'll have to get rid of the prosthetic and blah, 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 blah. So I asked, gosh, and then you came down and I think I asked somebody to go in to bring you down for advice. And the thing was, it was one of these moments that it was a problem, let's say, but I stood back and I watched you and Reese, who was the sound designer, work together with the actor and try all these different ideas, go away, come back, try things. And I won't reveal the solution. You can do that. But to me, it was just, it's always been a favorite picture. Somebody took a picture of it at the time. It just absolutely exemplified that creative, technical theatre kind of collaboration in one image. So you can reveal how you fixed it now.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think that collaboration is important, whether you're cast, crew, the woman marking the tea, it's important. So basically, the simple, after the emergency, and I put my cape on, I had a feeling that what was going to happen was going to happen. So I shoved something in my dungarees, and I says to Reese, it's fine, the problem's easy, let's just, how do we, I says to the actor.
I'm not losing my prosthetic, I think was in more than...
It's not my prosthetic. It's the actor, speak down there. And he says, well, we're having the prosthetic. That's, I maybe got a bit like, we are having it because he needs to look like a wolf. And I gone into my pocket and pulled out a couple of balls of cotton wool, lifted it up, stuffed it in, and says, now, actor person, speak, sorted, done, let's go. Right, I need to go, I've got a witch to prepare.
That has to be the best kind of exit line. I have to go now. I have a witch to prepare. Fantastic. But it just highlights that kind of collaboration. What is, let's stay in the theatre for a second then, or maybe some of the photo shoots you've done. What's the maybe not even that, because you were speaking about body painting. Sorry, jump to my question. What's the longest makeup that you've ever done?
About that size? No, see, that's difficult because I try not to spend too much time on a makeup. I know that makeup needs to get to a certain point and stop because I need to go and do something else, but I need it to get to that point. It's a makeup that I've done, but it's not been presented on show, which would have to be Shrek.
Okay.
Shrek for me was a huge, massive. I mean, I didn't need to do what I've done. Obviously, the show's been postponed, but I basically all these enchanted character people. Yeah. I've designed every character. I've not only designed every character, I've also made prosthetics. So, like a wee pixie, she'd have a wee nose. Pinocchio's got something. It's just wee nuances. Like someone might have like a chiseled jaw. So I've done all that. I've also spent time making pastiche, which is facial hair.
Okay.
For people and dying. So like the Mad Hatter, I'm having a big corkscrew facial hair. But the Shrek prosthetic itself and the process of that would probably take about an hour and a half.
And does it become, when you're designing makeups and things, does it get to a stage that you think, I'm going to have to simplify that because we can't do that every night? Or
all the time, the time. I mean, if I just take Shrek again, for instance, he has a silicone prosthetic and a foam latex prosthetic every night that is blended, and there's a team of 3 or 4 people working on it at a time, and the cost of that's about £1,500 a time
for the piece, or for the people, and just every time that makeup goes on.
Just the piece.
Wow.
So looking at like costings for like local amateur Shreks, just the piece itself for a week would cost £1,000. and it is a downgraded version of it. So yeah, I have to take the vision of someone and simplify it, one, so it's achievable, not by myself, but like if someone else was to do it if I'm not there, and two, to really get into the budget.
Absolutely.
But it's going back to basics. It's thinking, right, what would people do 100 years ago? Like, and I'm really old school, especially with things like aging and stuff. Stick a beard on and stick some lines, and it looks good. You know, so I do think sometimes people really over-engineer makeup, and I think if we just take it back to basics and take it simple, sometimes the simplest things are the most effective things.
Okay, so it sounds like stage is your favourite out of the filming and the screen work. And
hate it, absolutely hate it. No, I do like stage work. I think I get so immersed into it because for a lot of years, stage work and theatre, whether I'm on stage performing or whether I'm doing costumes or makeup, has been a huge, massive part in my life. And I think definitely being like a theatrical or theatre makeup artist, it's difficult. It's a difficult transition to make from a beauty makeup artist into a stage makeup.
It's a different art itself, is it?
Totally. It's like small lines and blend in for beauty, but here, no blend in, big lines.
Okay. What is a project that you haven't worked on yet, but you would love to? Or a particular show, or?
That's a difficult one. I've got quite a few. Makeup or everything?
Let's do both. Let's just do makeup first.
Right, makeup, things like Sweeney Todd. But to be honest with you, there's not really many shows that I've not done.
Yeah, you've done loads of them. What about what you were hinting there towards everything? What, like, do you mean design a complete piece?
A complete piece. I've got a Sweeney Todd sitting there that is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Well, maybe it's not going to be phenomenal. Shows like, I don't know. Putting on the spot, I can't even think. Sweeney Todd. I'd love to create my own Oliver.
Oh, right. From the do you mean set, costumes, make the whole look?
Everything, turn it on its back. Hunchback of Notre Dame, I might have looked at that a wee bit. There's just so many possibilities. I get excited with anything. Someone says to me, I've got a Wizard of Oz. I'm like, what can I do different?
Yeah. And does it always start off with, can it be different? Or does sometimes, mind you said that about Shrek, sometimes you have to give them what they want.
Well, this is it. So I suppose like Wizard of Oz, you can't really visually make someone look different, but there's things like sets, different ways you can do stuff. I always remember speaking to a director about a Sweeney Todd, and the first thing I says to the director, I think it was actually at the same time we went, no blood.
Oh, that was you and I then, yeah.
That was very much you and I. I was kind of alluding to that. I didn't want blood because people go, oh, Sweeney Todd, cutthroat, barber chairs, shoot, slides. I didn't want that. I wanted someone to come into a Mr. Mond Kenny Christie production.
Yeah.
Because people...
Oh, I've lost your sound. You've hit mute or something. Hello?
Sorry. Hiya. So I think people would want that to be something different. And I do definitely think that people have seen shows. What makes a show different?
Yeah.
For you to go and see it.
And certainly that was a conversation we had. I was signed up to do a Sweeney Todd, and I think you and I just finished another couple of shows or something together.
I hadn't even finished the shows.
I hadn't even finished, but I said I would really like you to design the whole thing next time, because you were obviously really passionate about Sweeney Todd. But who knows, that Sweeney Todd might still happen. We'll get back to a project together, certainly, and really fond memories of working with you are when you're standing out front in a tech with your Mr. Mond apron on, looking at things, shaking your head, and we have a chat and you say, but this could I'm going to try this or try that, and tie up a look and things as well. What some people are asking a couple of questions, so I'm going to go to them in a second.
Oh no, it's a hard questions.
No, it won't be. It's geography or general knowledge. What is a favourite tool or product that you couldn't do your job without? Or what is, maybe you've got just a really old-fashioned thing that it's your brush, or what is it?
Well, this is going to sound probably cliche. I've got loads of brushes, so I can't pick a favourite one because it's like having kids and going, "Oh, you're my favourite." No, you're my favourite. You can't do that. For me, definitely, my prized tool, and I always say this to my students, is this.
What's that? Your fingers?
My fingers, because they could do so many things for applying makeup, for sketching, for drawing. These, for me, are my tools.
Oh, cool. Gosh, right, okay.
Go back to basics, right back to basics. My imagination as well, because sometimes my imagination can go wild.
Okay.
Products, I don't know if I've got a favourite product. I think it depends on the show. Yeah. Like if I'm doing a show, I'll have a product for that or a product for that. Or I do have a favourite eyeshadow though.
Oh, right. What's that then?
It's called Moonstone by Bobbi Brown. It's just a small eyeshadow and it's just
a different colour or something, or
it's gold. It's gold, but it's like a gold glitter, but it's just beautiful. So, guys and girls, Christmas presents, Moonstone by Bobbi Brown. It's just the most wonderful.
Very interesting, because I'm going to go to, there's a couple of questions here, or statements. Sarah is saying it's like learning to paint, do it with the opposite hand to loosen up. Is that right? That you kind of...
Absolutely. That's the first lesson I say to my kids. So when they're doing something, a winged eyeliner, for instance, I'll go like that, that's off. And they'll be like, well, how can I get it? How can I do it again? I'm like, you're obviously left or right-handed, and they'll be like, how do you know that? I'm like, because you can see the dominance of the strokes. I want you to take it off, and I want you to do it with your your undominant hand, and then it's easier for your dominant hand to match up.
Oh wow! And Sarah's also asking, do you have any plans to bring out your own makeup range? Is there something missing? Is there a dream? I mean, if you were Dragon's Den now, in front of the Dragon's Den, is there a product that you see a market for stage and theatre makeup?
Definitely. There is a product that I've looked at, well, that I've maybe wanted to design, but I'm not going to tell you that because someone's going to go away and be rich.
We'll be away to do it. Is that Miss Cassie there as well, did I see?
That's Miss Cassie.
And just 3 more questions from me. I'm going to say, do you enjoy your teaching and lecturing work then? Is that a different thing? You've spoken in and out of that tonight. It sounds like you enjoy that.
It's one of these things. It's teaching is one of the most valuable things that you can give to life, because if we learn from teachers, and I think that, you know, creating the relationship between your students and your lecturer has kind of lifelong, what's the word? I can't even think, but it's important. And I love teaching. I mean, I'll come home and go, or give me that little bottle of Vimto and add some water to it, you know? But yeah, I absolutely love it. It's one of the hardest jobs ever, but it's so rewarding to see these kids go like that. Oh, did I get what I'm doing? Then bang, eureka, because they've trusted the process. They get it. And seeing that moment, to me, is probably like watching your kids running downstairs opening the presents for Santa. I actually enjoy it that much that I'm halfway through my 2nd year of a master's of education.
Oh, and we can't, it's not just you enjoy it so much, your students obviously enjoy you because oh, have you got it's not just a box of chocolates for yours. What did they give you, or what did the college give you?
A headache.
A head.
So this is my 5th year, and I've won the student award for lecturer of the year twice.
Twice? That's incredible.
I won it this year, and I didn't even bribe them, which was great.
Oh, you better put it back on the mantle. What was it going to say? My last 2 questions very quickly. One is regarding what's behind you. Is that Miss Cassie the picture?
That is Miss Cassie the picture.
And did you paint that?
Yes.
So you are, my question, so are you still painting yourself? There she is, just to see the likeness. You're still painting yourself then?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I went through a long period of time that I stopped painting and then I got back into it. And
Okay.
I think that's what got me back into it.
Wow.
And from that, there was a ricochet effect. People seen the picture and like I paint 1 or 2 paintings a week now.
Wow, that's incredible. My last question to you is, what would you say now to, I mean, there'll be people watching this that are really interested in your career and your field and how you got there and things. Is there something that you would say to your younger self right now, with all you know now?
Definitely. When I graduated university, I had an opportunity to go down to Essex, or Brighton, one of them. I always get them too confused. To study a degree in film and makeup.
Can you just say that again? Because
it was just a heck. Because
I don't know if for everybody else, you kind of froze a minute there for me. What was it you were going to film? Sorry.
Oh yeah, so I got into a makeup school in Essex to study film and theatre makeup, or makeup for TV and film, sorry, and theatre, sorry. And it was just by chance. I'd emailed them looking for more information, and they said, unfortunately, the course was closed. But the lecturer wanted to see some of my work, so I sent her some of the work, and it wasn't good. And then she's like, "That I'm opening an extra place for you."
Oh wow!
And I was like, "Oh, when do you start?" This was Friday. She went Monday. I was like, "Ah!" So I deferred to the second semester, and I was stupid. I thought, "Well, I've got a full-time job, and I'm not going to go down." Okay. So hearsay what would happen if I went down. So speaking back to myself as a younger, just slightly younger, I would just say, swear word, go for it.
And was it what? Why did you not? Were you worried about that, or the jump, or what? Did you not have confidence in your own?
I think it was the whole kind of. I'm a guy from Dundee that studied in Dundee, and I'm a Dundee guy.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? And think that was difficult.
Gone for it.
I should have just done it, because it's taken me now 15-ish years to get to where I am now. Okay. Which I'm not complaining, because I'm in a really good place. But what would have happened if it was, and I'm not saying whatever. We do have life experiences that are important to get people to the places.
What I'm going to say back to you is everything kind of that cliche, everything happens for a reason, but maybe you have to trust the process.
Absolutely.
Maybe you do as well. And I just saw a wee message there from Donna Hazelton that has said she has just ordered that eyeshadow.
Yeah.
If you're on commission, you've just got one sale. And just before I finish, just when Donna springs to mind there, actually, because I watched you have a test session. Donna was playing Norma Desmond in a production of Sunset Boulevard. And I know that we met together and you tried various looks with her. And of course, there's a part that has to almost distress and change during the run of the show, as well, as she becomes more stressed and her anxieties and things take over. But the most amazing thing that I witnessed out of that session, again, wasn't so much your absolute artistry and your intelligence and knowledge when it comes to that. It was how you used makeup, which I think is a very personal thing, more so than a wig, perhaps, in a costume and somebody's lighting or anything, but how you actually used that makeup process to develop an actor's confidence about the part that they were about to go into, which is obviously sometimes stressful and worrying, and nerves can be at the fore and everything. But that process of showing them how to, just giving them that extra help to become their character and talking to them, I'm sure Donna would agree, it was just that almost inspiring and validating process, working with you about details and everything. And I, you can't underestimate the way you do that, and the way I've seen you do that with numerous performers, that care and attention. But it's, for some people, it's one of those last pieces of the puzzle in totally performance.
It's that visual that they don't know. Donna's acting as Norma Desmond is still Donna acting as Norma Desmond, but creating that mindset with Donna, it's like, right, Donna, this is not one person. This is multitude of different peoples. So your makeup has to reflect that. And just a slight smudge or a slight something in the face, you've seen our facial expressions come alive with it. And again, for me, that was a really beautiful thing. But it's just small tweaks like this, but we're just going to change that color. We're just going to do this. We're just going to do that. This is how you do it until the end picture is something. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to give it too much away, but into something exaggerated.
Expertise and advice. Well, listen, that I've thoroughly, I'm not just saying that, thoroughly enjoyed our chat tonight, talking like this about what you do and how you do it and how you got into it. So a huge thank you to you, my dear. And I'll speak to you very, very soon. Okie dokie.
Great. Thanks, guys, for having me. Bye.
Raymond, bye.
Did I just click leave now?